will be the end of my brief introduction of what I'm going to show you how to do today. So that was a very simple thing I just did. I took a song that originally was written for a whole band and an electric guitar, and I just kind of made my own impromptu cover of it, you could say, just by turning it into a fingerstyle song. So a lot of you who are watching this video, that's probably exactly what you're hoping to do, because that would be just a lovely way, something to whip out in front of the campfire with your friends and family. And it's just that lovely mellow sound. It accentuates the vocals because the guitar is simple but still definitely beautiful. So here's how you know if you should be watching this video or not. The question is, are you ready to start trying to do fingerstyle, the finger picking? If you know even just 5 or 6 chords, in this example, I'm going to just be using chords in the key of G, which is G, E minor, C, D. If you know A minor as well, that's kind of just in that same category. So if you're fairly comfortable with those chords, you might not be great with your chord transitions yet. Those might still be taking you some time, but if you can at least hold down the fingerings and get a clear sound out of all the strings, then you're good to go. Let's go ahead and try this finger picking lesson for you. If you're still like really struggling remembering where to put your fingers and still getting some dead sound when you pluck the strings, hold off a little while. Give yourself some stability, at least in the left hand area, so that you can focus on the right hand. And, you know, hopefully this is something you're really just dying to do, so your motivation is high. So if you're really into this kind of folk style music, then let's jump on in. So, Fingerstyle 101. Do not skip this. This is so important to be able to get these foundational proper technique. So, first of all, the fingerstyle kind of comes from Spanish guitar, and so the way that you're going to see it notated on written music, they're going to call your thumb P, your index finger I, your middle finger M, and this finger in Spanish is anular, so it's A. So just think of it as a word pima. I kind of associate that with puma in my mind, I don't know why. But it's pima, P-I-M-A, and that's your right hand. So those are how I'm going to give you directions. Now hopefully you already are familiar with your E, A, D, G, B, E. You've probably heard Eddie A. Dynamite, Goodbye Eddie. So those are the names of your open strings. I also will refer to them by number. So the lowest string, your E string, is going to be 6. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you might have noticed what my right hand was doing here. So this P finger, your thumb, it's got a job to do, and its job is to play the 6th string, 5th string, and 4th string. So these other fingers are not going to be shifting around very much at all. Really, hardly ever. So you can get used to having them be planted on the first 3 strings, and your thumb is the one that's going to be moving around. So right now, go ahead and try that out. Get your hand so that you have a nice arch in your wrist. You want to avoid having a flat wrist against your guitar. You just want it nice and raised, and the reason for doing that is to basically have tall fingers. Because if your fingers are tall, when you pluck the string, the only thing that's moving is from your knuckle down, which is great because you don't want your hand to get far away when you pluck a string, or else it just takes added time and effort to get it back to where it goes. So if you can just pluck the string, it should kind of naturally find its way back if your hand is stable. If your wrist is touching the guitar or the arm is touching the body of your guitar, when you pluck, it's just going to do this whole bouncing away motion, and then you have to get your way back, and it's a bad tone quality as well. So do not do that, please. So, arch wrist, tall fingers. When you pluck these lower strings with your thumb remains straight. If this feels awkward to you, you can literally put masking tape around your finger so that you can't bend the knuckle. There should be no knuckle bending. It's just, it's more like a tiny circle that you make when you pluck the strings, and the part that actually hits the strings is more this side of your finger. So, this part right here. There are things that you can hook to your fingers to to make it louder when you do this, but I honestly would not recommend starting that way. It's easier to transition to those after the fact once you're comfortable with it. So it's nice to be able to feel the strings with your actual skin. So 6-5-4, another thing to really watch for is where does your thumb end up when you pluck the string? It should land in front of your other fingers. It almost makes this little X shape. What you don't want to have happen is what I call going into the cave. So your thumb should not end up inside your other fingers, because that just kind of makes your whole hand tense up and then your thumb gets stuck. So in front of the other fingers, if you're finding that you are ending up inside those other fingers, it's just a subtle shift and slide. It obviously doesn't need to be extreme, but just a little shift. So 6-5-4. You may need to spend a couple days just going back and forth between those three, checking all those things that I talked about. How's my wrist looking? Do I have a straight thumb? And then we can add these other fingers. So this I finger is on your third string. And I would have all of your other fingers planted on the strings. So the only finger that is not touching a string is this index finger when you pluck it. It should easily find its way back. Now when you pluck a string, a lot of children will just get their finger really under there and pull. It's not a pull, it's really more of a subtle press and release. You definitely don't need to apply a lot of force to it. If you don't like the way it sounds, either one, you're playing on a crappy guitar, or it's just that, oh, I hate even doing that, but it's just that you're pulling too hard. So if you want it to be really louder, just plug it into an amplifier. So anyway, index finger is on the third, middle finger is on the second string, and this ring finger A is on the first string. This one is going to feel the most awkward, but good news, it actually gets used the least in a lot of really basic fingerstyle patterns. You'll notice when I'm playing through this Carter style, that ring finger didn't do anything that whole time. So you can actually very often use your ring finger as a stabilizer. So even if all my other fingers are being used plucking these other strings, I can just keep my hand in the same place by having that the A finger touch the first string. So that's pretty great. So those are things to really watch out for, and I would highly recommend spending at least a few days, and you'll kind of know when you're feeling comfortable, but really let yourself play with plucking these strings in different orders. I mean, you can start really basic, just going 6-5-4, 3-2-1, 1-2-3-4-5-6, and it's going to feel more awkward when you're going this way. So, and then once you start feeling comfortable with that, maybe do string skipping where you go 6-4-5-3-4-2-3-1, 6-4-5-3-4-2-3-1. So let yourself do that while not stressing about what's going on with your left hand. Once you're feeling comfortable with that, you can use this same song that I'm using. I'm just using Yellow by Coldplay as an example. It was just kind of stuck in my head this morning, and it's a good, really basic chord type of a song. But just pick a song that you like, and you can, ultimateguitar.com has a really cool feature where you can just go to the chords and lyrics of a song, and they have this little button that says transpose, and you can take it up or down. So whatever song you pick, you can transpose it to the key of G. You're going to know that you've done that if the first and the last chord of the song is a G chord. It's not always that way, but very often that's true. So if it looks like the chords in there are G, E minor, C, D, A minor, B minor, that's usually the key of G. And then you'll be able to kind of follow along with this concept that I'm showing you. So there's really only a couple things to remember. I'm going to show you what that fingerstyle pattern was that I was doing. So we'll use the G chord as an example. When I play G, the lowest note that I play is the 6th string. So I'm going to use that in my pattern. I'm going to go 6, 4, 3 and 2 with my I and my M finger, and then back to 4. 6, 4, 2, 4. You would pretty much do that pattern 2 times to make up one musical measure, or usually it's one time the chord is written. So you kind of count it out this way, and if you don't understand what I'm talking about, it's okay. It can still be like a number system in your head. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Oftentimes that's when the next chord comes. So let's take the example of the C. Everything I'm about to do is going to be the same except for my low note. The 6th string isn't part of this chord, so if I played 6, 4, 3, and 2, 4, it wouldn't sound right. So instead, I'm going to do 5, 4, 3, and 2, 4. Now the D chord. When you strum the D chord, you omit the 6th string and the 5th string, and it's 4, 3, 2, 1. So here you would go 4, 3, 1, and 2, 3, 4, 3, 1, and 2, 3. And then other chords like the E minor. You just ask yourself, how many strings do I strum when I play this chord? And if you don't know that, then go look at those chord diagrams, because they will have an X over the strings that you're not supposed to play. So like with the E minor, we play all of them. So I'd go 6, 4, 3, and 2, 4. For the A minor chord, the lowest string you play is 5, so I would go 5, 4, 3, and 2, 4. And you can pretty much plug this into any song that is in standard time, which is 4 musical beats, pulses, and a measure. And by default, that's going to be most songs, so you're just pretty much safe to assume that this will work anywhere. So, when I was playing Yellow, G chord, 6, 4, 3, and 2, 4. I took my cable off, so now I can't sing it because it's really low. Look at the stars, look how they shine for you. Here's the D chord, so I'm going 4, 3, 2, 3. And all the things that you do, 5 on C, they were all yellow. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. So really just have fun with this, experiment it, use it in a song that you love, that you would love to be able to perform for people. And you can start out really slow. I would recommend taking it 2 chords at a time and just going back and forth with that. And let me know if you have any other questions. I'm definitely going to be doing more videos about this same kind of beginner fingerstyle type of stuff. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Go ahead and subscribe. And yeah, see you later, guys.